Alexa, turn on Dynamic Duo. Alexa, turn on Dynamic Duo and turn off Dining Room. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little one more finishing thing on my Mastiff here. I'm going to work on his base for a few minutes. Now, this isn't a very long thing. This will be a short little 30-minute touch-up. And, yeah, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. This is a weird plastic putty. This plastic putty I have here, look. It doesn't squeeze out, so you can't like, oh, well, never mind. It does. I couldn't get it to squeeze out the other day. Then it felt like it was squeezable. I don't know. Ignore me. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so all I'm going to do here is some minor adjustments to his to the ground he is walking on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some brown wash down, just a little bit, probably something of the I use like a soft tone look. I'm letting myself get cluttered. Don't let yourself get cluttered. Don't be a clutter getter. Can't help it. I'm just constantly letting paints. I don't put them away right away, and then I say, I gotta put this away, and then I don't. I just keep adding to the pile. And I'm like, okay, and then I go back and then at some point I finally come back and go, all right, enough's enough, and then I start putting all the paints away. And this is going to help when I finally start. And part of what it is I'm trying to get to the point where I actually log all my paints, log it. You know, like, and I have an app that keeps track of which paints you have, and I've only done like 30% of my paints in there. Most all my new ones go into the app because I didn't have it before, but I haven't gone through and actually tried to add all my paints, and I need to go back and do that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to kind of I'm going to sloppily hit all the cracks here, all the area around here, because what I want is this to look kind of muddy. But I don't want it to be everywhere. I want them to still be gray. I just want, like, you're on it's like a sidewalk area or a dungeon that just perhaps isn't so clean. And so I'm just I'm washing it where I mostly hit the outside, the areas where the cracks are. This is a pre-made base, so it was printed, 3D printed. It came with one of my, I don't know if it came with this dog or one of the other things that I had, but just the idea is that it's going to look just like a dirty tile, like a dungeon area, I guess. I'm going to put it around the skull here too that I have on the ground, because it needs to look a little dirty. Maybe not completely up on the rocks. Get in there. Just everything that would be have dirt kind of in there and just muddiness. And ultimately it's going to all look it's going to be brown in a lot of it, but not everywhere. this will just allow me not to necessarily have to do a complete, you know, where you have to go back and we call it whitewash it or dry brush it with lighter colors, because it's kind of hard to do that with the underside. Then what I'll do is just kind of making sure that any texture that's here, super light outer surface, just to make sure that it blends now. Not actually slopping the main color on anymore. All right, that's a little bit better. And then, now, the tricky part here is trying to do this quickly. That's not the tricky part, but it feels like it is. I'm going to try and take some of my black here. All I'm doing here is, I don't know, creating what might be a shadow behind his feet. Let's make it a little darker. So, my wife's watching some show about I don't know, Bob or Bob, something or other, some guy who used to do like the kid TV shows like Amanda Bynes and some of these other shows. And so recently I don't know if recently he's been in the news or at some point he was in the news. He basically, I guess, molested these kids, some of them, or he just took advantage of them. And I don't know what he did exactly because I don't watch those shows. And my wife's up there getting all mad and angry about it, and I'm like, this is why I don't watch them. Does it, because my thought is, why? Okay. Why watch them? Does it make you feel good? I don't sit down to watch TV and feel bad. When I watch TV, I sit down to relax and I want to just, watch something that I enjoy. I don't need to watch about these crazy people that are doing terrible things and they just make you angry because there's nothing you can do about it. There really isn't. I mean, the person might already be in prison. They've already been, dead already. But you're angry. And what are you going to do? What exactly is the appropriate response in that scenario, right? I'm like, all you're doing is making yourself angry. Hey, why do you watch these shows? It's nothing to be done about it. And Might as well just not watch it. Anyway, so it's 6:45. I don't have a ton of time, but I'm going to try and do this thing. Now, I'm using a paper clip to spread glue. Why? Well, because I don't really have a brush. I mean, I do have brushes that are no good, and I could care less about ruining them, but they're a one-time shot. So the brush is like, for this little task, I don't want to put glue on. So I'm actually going to use a paper clip. It's so little that I'm spreading, and I'm going to try and use this. And I'm going to use it. I don't even know if it works, because they say you should use like Elmer's glue. I don't have any near me though. So I'm just gonna put this down in various spots on here. Now I don't know how quick this stuff dries. I don't think it dries that fast, to be honest. I hope. So I'm basically just doing very quickly, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to try. I'm going to use that's what do you call it, pigment. Now, I don't know how good this pigment's going to stay. I don't know how good this glue is going to do. I got to do it pretty quick though. Basically, I'm trying to use it as a binder, which is probably my paper clip's dirty. It's probably not gonna help. So this glue is like dissolving the paint, causing it to come off on my figure a little bit. Probably don't want that. Try again. Okay, let's go ahead. Oops. Find my pigment. We will call it wild. We'll try wild moss. Never used this stuff before. It's just pigment, so it's basically paint, right? But what I don't want is to actually touch my brush on the paint, on the glue. So I'm just gonna what do I expect this to look like? I don't know, actually. Expecting it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to brush off some of it once I get down. I'm hoping that the idea is that the glue I just put down will be the binder that holds it on. Then I will just, that's it. I will call it good. I will rinse that stuff off. I don't know. I mean, you can go over it with other things. You can go over it with a wash. You can go over it with other things. Start changing the color of it. But I'm okay. Let's see what it looks like. I'll take that off. Now, in theory, I don't want it everywhere, so I just want it to look kind of dirty. So we got like a little bit of indoor moss, a little bit of dirty floor going here. It's just, yeah, that's all it is. Now let's go ahead and clean it up a little bit more by taking my brush here. And gotta do it. You know, the one thing, what do you gotta do at the end of every task? You gotta paint the base. You gotta do it, man. Don't let your base look sloppy, dirty. See how it's all dirty and sloppy there? Don't do that. Don't be a dirty baser. Clean your base up, paint it up, and nice and black, nice and something. Sometimes I'll paint like a set of bases all one color, like they might all be blue, but the rims got to be on there. Now I only do that for games. Like if I have, like say I got a board game, and I want the minis, and I want to paint the minis. I'll paint all the minis the same color, and it won't be black because black is kind of my go-to default. So I'll paint like all my board game minis the same color. Like if I think Talisman, I painted them all red. The ones I painted, obviously some of them are still gray and they're the base color, but the majority of them are red. The ones I painted are all red. And then I think I have another game I have, just like a little tactical combat game, where I painted all of the bases. I think I painted them gold. So just getting a variety. But then I know, so when it's time to play that game, I go, oh, these characters are supposed to be in the same game together. So when I'm assembling all my game bits together to play that game, I can go, oh, because I don't just throw them back in the box. Once I painted them, they stay in one of my cases, in one of the X cases that I have, because I like to have painted pieces displayed. You know, they don't need to be relegated to box anymore. Besides, you don't want the paint coming off just sitting inside a box. That's lame. Oops. You never want to say oops, but I oopsed a little bit. Got a little bit of paint higher than I wanted. I don't think it's noticeable. It's so high up. Such a minor amount, and I only see it in my magnifying glass. But still. There is one little highlight I missed on this guy. But there's two things I'm going to do. First, I'm going to put my glue away. And second, I'm going to take some light tan color, maybe, nah, not bone color, that's a little too light. But how about tan shadow? This will work. It's pretty light. It's just a light kind of beigey color. Skeleton bone might be a little too light, so I'm going to go with this one for my contrast. This is just tan shadow. It's a Reaper paint, actually. And I'm going to use it to sometimes when you shake up a bottle and then you poke the hole, there's like pressure. It just wants to bubble over. It's like, that's not great, but well. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm just going to take a little bit of my tan shadow here, and I'm going to go just around the edges of my yellow here, of my leather. kind of call out the edges. So my wife and I have been watching Resident Alien lately. It's actually pretty good. I guess there's 2 seasons, or the 3rd season coming out now. But there's only 2 seasons currently. But there's 16 episodes. It's a pretty decent length show. And it's a sci-fi channel thing. To be honest, I really didn't think my wife would want to watch it. I thought, well, this show's getting pretty good reviews. But, we're kind of light on shows. And I said, hey, let's check this one out. So, aliens, that kind of thing's just not her cup of tea generally. And I didn't think she'd watch it. But oddly enough, she got into it pretty quick, really. She was, she found it entertaining enough to stick with it with me. So we've been watching it. We've gotten all the way through. We're already halfway through the first season or second season. And there's a new one coming, so we've got at least 3 seasons we're going to get to watch. I don't know if there'll be a 4th season or not, because they haven't even released the 3rd one yet. The 3rd one, it's actually out now. The 3rd season's already out. It's just, we haven't... Honestly, I'm not sure I like this better than the... kind of a more yellow. A yellow highlight. I think it's because my brown is actually a pretty light brown. So I'm not sure, like, just using an actual yellow might be a better highlight. And this is an ink, so this won't do anything. I'm serious. I'll put this on, and it'll be like, did you put anything on there? It's like, nah, it's a fake. This won't do anything. I mean, it takes a lot of yellow to get a good yellow, result. Highlighting with yellow sucks. You're better off trying to highlight with brown. Now, because I used brown underneath it, this is probably doing better than I expected. Because brown makes a decent underlayment for yellow. It allows yellow to come out. Come on, play. Can yellow come out to play? The answer is generally no. Yellow cannot. Yellow's busy. He's got chores to do. But come back at another time. All I'm doing here is kind of killing the shine on this buckle, because I kind of overshined the buckle. A little too much gold in that. So I'm trying to take some of the original paint that I had and just get it down to its normal tone just a tad bit. There you go. It's a little better. But I think he's kind of done. So there you go. There's my Mastiff, ready for combat. So I'm gonna call him good, and that'll be my 25-minute little finishing run at the Mastiff. So I'll take a photos and I'll put that on my, I guess, TikTok. That's kind of where I've been putting them. And just because, as of late anyway, I've been posting them up. I don't have I actually don't own a Mastiff, but I own Brittany. I wouldn't mind having a Mastiff Mini, or a Brittany Mini. But, I don't know how it would look, but came out pretty good, I think. Till next time, you have a good one. Goodbye.